little encouragement is I think probably very, very useful in their cases before they get to the point that we did.
Yeah, and frankly, while things are getting better, it's still an area of education that doesn't get covered.
It doesn't, right?
It doesn't get covered.
And so we do the best we can with that, but...
Another thing that I'm planning on doing as well is going to Kimberly High School, because there were a couple of people that showed interest over there, so I want to check that out as well.
That's great. That's great. We'll get out there as much as we can. It's fun. It's time consuming, but it's actually fun. We have a good time doing that.
It is. Those are long days, but well worth it.
Yeah, and certainly we want to get the word out, let everybody know that we're here and we're human.
And anybody who's watching, if you have a company or an organization or a school system that you'd like us to work with you to try and set up a discussion panel on transgender issues, please get in touch with us.
Yeah, you can call us here. You can get us by. There's our website right there on the screen.
You can send email to tall-admin@thetallgroup.org, and we'll get it.
Yeah. Anyway, it's very cool, and we're actually doing a lot. We're busy. The organization is moving forward, and it's kind of neat. Hopefully this legislation will pass this year, and hopefully at some point on the federal level we'll have an inclusive ENDA, which would be nice too.
Yep. Yes, they also made a phone call this past weekend on that as well.
You did. Good. Yeah. And we certainly, at this point, we really need to be calling our legislators, our individual legislators, certainly.
Because if there's any level of confidence that the Judiciary Committee will send it up to the House or the Senate for a vote, we want to make sure that we've been expressing to those legislators all along. That's right. That this is something we encourage them to support.
Yeah. And I think there's no doubt that and honestly, when it comes to discrimination, I'm not sure it matters. But the fact of the matter is, I think we do have, we certainly have the majority of the General Assembly on our side. And I think we have the vast majority of the people on our side with this. I think people, even if they don't understand us, don't really like discrimination.
No.
But the fact of the matter is that the whole purpose of anti-discrimination laws is to protect the few from the many, isn't it? So I'm not sure it even matters. But we do have, I think, the public opinion in our favor on this.
Yeah. I have a friend I was talking to this weekend who has a little bit of trouble with hate crime legislation. He sees a lot of it as a double jeopardy. If it's a crime, it's a crime. Why do you need a second crime to cover it?
I understand that.
He's a libertarian. But when I asked him about the anti-discrimination bill, because it was coming up and he lives here in Connecticut, I was very surprised that he was much more in favor of supporting an anti-discrimination bill, because he did see the value in identifying groups that it's wrong to discriminate against.
Right.
More broadly maybe than we are, but that's his opinion. But it was where was I going? See, now I've forgotten.
And I do see his point. I do. I understand. I'm kind of a libertarian at heart myself, and I do see the point. But I sort of also see, you can sort of see the other side of it, and that is that that in the case of certainly some of the things that happens to us, crime is crime, but your average person doesn't get tied to a fence and beaten to death because they're gay,
No,
it's sort of
murder's a crime.
Murder is still a crime.
Doesn't matter who you kill.
It's granted, and I absolutely agree with that. But I sometimes think that maybe if we make it a little bit more serious for some of these things that are motivated by such an hate is a horrible thing to be motivated by, and I know that can happen. I know where you're going.
No, I'm not.
I agree.
Didn't bring it up to argue that point.
But I wonder if sometimes maybe these things wouldn't discourage somebody from flying off the handle for a stupid reason, like because somebody's gay or trans, and tying them to a fence, and so maybe there is I hope that there is just a little bit of discouragement for the would-be killer in that. but I do agree. Crime is crime, and murder is murder, and nobody should be subjected to that.
The question that I was trying to discuss with him at the time was, Connecticut passed gender identity in the hate crime bill.
Right.
A couple of years ago, I think,
Yep.
and it went through pretty easily. So I posed the question, why do you think we've had such a difficult time getting the anti-discrimination bill passed when the hate crime well, I don't want to say sailed through, but the hate crime got approved years ago?
Right.
And
That's a good question.
His answer his answer and mine, when we were talking, what we sort of realized is the hate crime bill affects those very few people that commit hate crimes. So it's easy for me to pass a bill if I don't think it's going to affect me. Anti-discrimination affects a much larger audience, a much larger walk of life.
That's true.
It affects everybody.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting.
But, well,
Yeah.
musings. Idle musings.
Yeah, I know. So are you still there, Renee?
Yes,
I wasn't sure. Wasn't sure if we'd lost you. We got off on a tangent here. I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay. That happens.
But yeah, so
Okay.
you've been very busy,
Yes.
and that's great. We certainly are having a good time doing these things, and
Yeah, I love doing the panels.
yeah. And I promise I am going to get an email off to Nan. I will do that. I'm going to have to do that tonight.
Okay, very good.
But I will do that. I'm going to write myself a note.
Okay, Tara.
Okay.
And for anyone who hasn't been able to make it to one of our panels and might be interested, they're fairly straightforward. We basically start by talking about our own stories, our own life histories, and what we've experienced, and then we take questions from the audience. And what are you interested in knowing about? Same thing we ask you guys all here. What are you interested in knowing about? What part of the gender spectrum, what terminology, what parts of the rainbow do you have questions on?
Sure. Yeah. Call us up.
Call us up. There's 2 open lines.
Yeah.
Okay, Callie, Tara. You just have a good night.
You too.
Renee.
Thanks for calling. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. And for those of you that wonder why we always turn our heads like this when we get a phone, it's because the speaker is over there, and so I sort of instinctively want to look over there, and so the call comes in, I'm always doing this. But sorry. Anyway, so we got a bunch of stuff coming up. We've got Andy Maynard coming on, which is going to be great.
April 15th.
We have got I haven't got a date yet, but I'm going to butcher his name. But Ron Suresha.
I think it's
Suresha.
Yeah, I think it's Suresha.
Who I'm sorry if I butchered your name if you're watching. He is an author. He's written, I think, like 8 books.
A very few, yes, quite a few books.
I'm very versed on the issues as far as our community, the GLBT community,
Yep.
and he's going to be coming on at some point in the future, and that's going to be he's also
Probably in May or June.
Yeah, which is going to be really cool. He's also happens to be the husband of my doctor, which is really neat. But anyway, we have a call. Good evening, nlcTrans. You're on the air.
Yeah, man. I just gotta say, as a Christian, I don't know why you two are trannies and whatnot. I mean, what's all that about, man?
I'm sorry. What was the question?
I'm calling to ask like the two she-she's that are on the air right now. Like, what's up? Why they all acting like that? Why are they trying to be like girls? They guys, man.
Well,
No, we're not.
that's exactly the issue we're trying to dispel. Is the packaging may look one way, but your brain's wired the other. And
Right.
Yeah, no, son, nah.